Hello, I'm Lila Reziel, and in this video I'm going to be using numerology to show you how the new Morrison government in their next term of 4 years, how they are going to treat you and how it's going to affect everything, really. So, you ready? So I've written the numbers down, and I've taken the numbers from election day. So I think of it as when everyone went to the polls and was voting, that was like the Labour pains and pushing. And then when Bill Shorten conceded to Scott Morrison, which was around 8:30 p.m, that's when the baby was born, the new term. So yeah, that was the 18th of the 5th, 2019. So we add all of those together in a 1 + 1 + 1 format, and we get 26. Which comes out to an 8, which is kind of problematic in some ways because it is hard work and it is karmic. From a spiritual standpoint, to me, it feels like we have a bit of karma to still resolve as a country, and this period of austerity and conservatism, we're not quite ready to let it go, as messed up as that is. We still have some lessons to learn, some karmic lessons. So there are 2 ones in there, and ones are all about leadership. So, and any numbers can be balanced, overbalanced, or underbalanced. So a balanced number is just expressive. It expresses the number, the vibration of that number. The underbalance means that it's shy and it doesn't quite have what it needs to be balanced. And overbalanced is boastful and, thinks it's too big for its boots, sort of like a tall poppy type syndrome. So we've got 2 ones in there. So that could be overbalanced or underbalanced and might have periods of balance. So because it's a number of leadership, it holds attributes of adventure and courage, and it could be a good thing. Like this is going to be the party that's leading the country for the next 4 years. So, the ones are in a pretty good position. So then we have an 8, so it was on the 18th, so we've got an 8 there, and then obviously the whole vibration adds up to an 8. So you've got 2 8s there, so that could be, again, it could be overbalanced or underbalanced. For me, I really do feel like we need this as a country, and sometimes, as difficult as it is, sometimes it's hard to move forward if you don't have that hard work and that hard time and that hard struggle. Like you can't move forward until you've really resolved all of those old beliefs, those old patterns. And I think that this term of government, I think people are anticipating it's going to be hard. It's going to be harder on the little guys. But I think that has to happen so that everyone can wake up and go, hang on, this is not serving us. Let's not do this again. So, yeah. And the great thing about an 8 is that it's kind of, to me, it feels like it's the last bit of hard work that you're going to have to go through. So then we come to the month, which is May. Now, if it was your birth date numerology, your month signifies your strength and your struggle. So because it's in May, it means balance, and it can mean movement and travel. So I think that there is going to be some shifts and some changes, and that might be in the general population. People might start to wake up and go like, gee, this isn't what we wanted. They're not delivering what they promised. So the 5 being the balance and the strength and the struggle, it could be us experiencing that term and not feeling the balance and wanting the change but not getting the change. but it could also be that the government is going to struggle with pushing those changes through, with keeping that movement and that momentum to get their policies through. Or it could mean, because it is your strength and your struggle, some things might be very easily pushed through. So, you know, and these types of numbers, this is going to carry the vibration through for the next 4 years. But then these numbers also kind of intermingle with the numbers of the day when, you know, a bill is going to be pushed through. But these are kind of like the anchor, and they're just sort of always going to be there in the background for the next 4 years. So it doesn't necessarily mean that a bill is for sure going to go through or not going to go through, because the numbers for the day that a bill is introduced and then the day that they vote on it, that all kind of comes into play as well. You know, the universe is a convoluted place, basically. So 2019, so 2019 on its own, just the year, that adds up to a 12. Yeah, 12. I'm useless at maths, even just basic maths. So 2019 adds up to a 12, which is 3, which is about expression and luck. And it can be fun, you know. It can be a great number. So this year is not necessarily going to be a bad year. Next year is all about laying down foundations. The year after that will be a 5 year, so moving forward and progress and movement and change. And as I said, you know, so 1, 2, 3. So this year will be the luck and the expression. Next year will be laying foundations. The year after that will be the movement and change. And then the year after that is about community and births, deaths, marriages. So and that would make sense because it will be coming towards the end of their term. So, you know, the death of this government. And then the year after that will be going into introspective growth. So, yeah, I think that this term, it's going to set us up for the future. It feels bad to everyone, and I can understand that. And hard work can be scary, but at the same time, you can't get to where you're going if it's just an easy ride. So yeah, there's also 2 2s. Now the thing about 2s is that they're a very sensitive number. They're a light-bearing number, and they're connected. They weave things together. So, and they're also a mediator and peacekeeper. So the 2s might just bring things together in a positive way, not a negative way. You know, then again, if there could be dissension, and it could be, you know, the 2s might not be fulfilled. Now, there's 1 9. Now, a 9 represents, the 9 is in the year, and actually also if you add up the day, that also comes down to a 9 because it's a 1 and an 8. Which adds up to a 9. So you have 2 9s, which 9 is a humanitarian number. So I think that's a really good number to have in here because, you know, you need that humanitarian heart that can look at a situation and actually see the heart of it and go, oh, like, I don't want those people to suffer. This, you know, this policy is going to hurt people. To have that there, I think, is a really positive thing. It can be a sensitive number, so feelings can be hurt easily, but at the same time, you know, that's sometimes a good thing because you can't understand someone else's pain unless you've lived it, unless you feel it. We do have a 6 in the breakdown to get to the 8. So that's about community, births, deaths, marriages, yeah, and community, you know, it starts in your home and then your school, your suburb, your city, your country. So it's just kind of encapsulates everything. So I think that's also a good number to have in here. It's also a number which means giving of service because, it, you know, you're in with your community. It's about births, deaths and marriages. It's about stuff that you can't just walk away from. It's your job to be in it. So I think that is also a good number to be in there. And really, actually looking at the numbers, you've got 1, 2, you've got a 3. Hang on. No, there's no 3. There must have been. Oh, that's right. No, the year add comes down to a 3. That's right. So yeah, there is a 3 in there. It's going to take a bit to get to that. So when something is in the breakdown of a number, so it's 2019, and then that comes down to a 12, and that comes down to a 3. So it's going to take some time for us to get to that, the luck and the fun and that sort of thing. So we're going to have to settle into the numbers and settle into this next term. But yeah, you know, I used to see 8s as like, oh, like they're this horrible thing, but really, they're not that bad. You know, if you don't have those hard times, you can't become better. You know, you don't have to face your darkness and your fears, and you can just keep plodding along. But in order to change and become better, you need the karma of the 8 to shake things up. You need to put in that hard work and, yeah, to have that organisation and planning, because that's what hard work is about. It's about not just being driven and, like, you know, working away. You've got to have a plan. So yeah, like, don't see it as complete doom and gloom, as nothing is all bad, and as nothing is all good. You know, hard work is not easy, but I think it's worthwhile. So yeah, that's the new term numerology. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and yeah, I'll answer them. So it's time that I love and leave you. And next time I'm going to do a video about Scott Morrison's personal numerology, so that we can see how his numbers affect his life, the way he kind of holds himself, the way he could be expected to react in certain situations, and how it's going to affect his term in Parliament, especially if we can relate it back to these numbers and see if he's got what it takes to work with these numbers or if he's going to clash. So until next time, take 3 for luck. Bye.